Welcome to Long Walker Outdoors, your destination for all things hunting, shooting, and the boundless wonders of the great outdoors. At Long Walker Outdoors, we live and breathe the thrill of the hunt, the crackle of a campfire, and the camaraderie that comes with sharing stories of our outdoor adventures. Whether you're a seasoned hunter with decades of experience or a newcomer eager to learn the ropes, this is the place for you. Join us on our podcast and YouTube channel as we delve deep into the world of hunting and shooting, from tips and tactics for bagging that trophy buck or nailing the perfect shot, to gear reviews, destination spotlights, and interviews with experts in the field. We've got you covered. So whether you're a bow hunter stalking game through the whispering pines, rifle enthusiast testing your marksmanship against distant targets, or someone who finds solace in the serenity of nature, Long Walker Outdoors is your home away from home. Join us as we embark on this wild and wonderful journey, exploring the untamed beauty of the great outdoors and celebrating the traditions and passions that unite us as hunters, shooters, and lovers of all things wild. So let's lock and load, hit the trail, and make memories that will last a lifetime. Welcome to Long Walker Outdoors, where every hunt is an adventure and every shot tells a story. In the world of mountain lion hunting, experience is vital. It's not just about tracking down this elusive predator. It's about understanding their behavior, mastering the art of calling, and making every shot count. For the average Joe or Jolene venturing into this realm, there is a wealth of knowledge to be gained from those who spent years honing their skills. This episode series delves into advice on scouting, essential gear, tracking techniques, calling strategies, and the crucial art of making the first shot count. With the proper knowledge, skills, and mindset, anyone can embark on this exhilarating adventure and emerge with memories that will last a lifetime. Now, mountain lions may be among the most elusive game species on the North American continent. These incredible predators thrive in places where most of us just don't want to go. Steep and rocky terrain and thick cover draw them like bees to honey. So how do we find these animals, let alone get a shot off? Well, part one of our multi-part series will try to answer just that. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, I don't hunt mountain lions with dogs. I have nothing against the use of dogs in principle. However, I just prefer the challenge of hunting without their use. And I have successfully tracked and called mountain lions without using dogs. Now, the information I'm providing will generally be geared towards this method of hunting, which is usually called boot hunting. But before we get into the details, I want to share a story of my second successful mountain lion harvest, and this kind of highlights how important preseason scouting can be. So here in South Dakota, lion season starts the day after Christmas. So December is a prime time for preseason scouting. The scouting in the Black Hills depends on snow cover, since the bare earth is rocky and covered in pine needles and really doesn't hold tracks very well. Well, as luck would have it, we received snowfall a couple of different times during December, and I was able to get out and drive some likely spots. Just happened to be muzzleloader season as well. Having a tag gave me an even better excuse to be out. Over the course of 4 weeks or so, I cut tracks and quality cats multiple times in several different areas. The tracks I usually focus on present as broad, deep, with a pretty lengthy stride. This is indicative of a healthy adult cat. Even better, there was no evidence that it was traveling with another individual. So here in South Dakota, we're not allowed to pursue or to harvest mountain lions that are known to be traveling together. So the morning we went out to hunt, we decided to work an area where we had successfully cut tracks in the same location pretty consistently. We chose to stick with it and just keep working that area. However, as fate would have it, I took a wrong turn on the drive that put us on the wrong path. Once we realized our mistake, we consulted our map and We realized that our route would actually take us through another area where we had cut some pretty good tracks just not too long before. Well, wouldn't you know, we cut the fresh tracks of a good cat in that area, and so, after some discussion, we decided to walk up that ridge line and do some calling above the road. We got up and set up on the backside of that ridge and in a smallish clearing with some good shooting lanes, and we called for almost an hour, which is pretty consistent for cats. Generally speaking, cats don't come in anything less than 30 to 45 minutes, and some, as you'll see, take a lot longer than that. Well, I was getting ready to call the sit over, and when I thought I saw something down towards the bottom of the drainage. Well, we decided to call for another 15 minutes, and sure enough, she stepped right out into the open. I gave a little whistle to stop her, and the old 30-06 put her down. She weighed 87 pounds, and the biologist at the check-in station figured she was 5 years old. Beautiful, mature cat. It just goes to show that preseason scouting can give you multiple options where good signs have been observed. Even if your original plans don't work out, through chance or human error, you can successfully adapt and adjust to the situation with prior knowledge. So overall, really the best part of this whole experience on this story was being able to harvest this cat with my grandfather's old Remington 721. The rifle's a few decades older than I am. It's harvested most of the major North American game animals, except mountain lions. Well, after that hunt, we were finally able to add mountain lion to that list. It can be said that the next hunt begins as soon as the last one ends. Well, this is no more true than when trying to locate areas where mountain lions reside. Preseason scouting can give you a leg up on the upcoming season and will set you up for success. The ideal mountain lion habitat encompasses a variety of landscapes, including woodlands, chaparral, and riparian areas that offer sample space, shelter, and prey availability. Mountain lions generally prefer habitats away from human development and urban areas. Generally, they avoid human-dominated landscapes and select areas with dense vegetation and rugged terrain to support their secretive lifestyle and hunting behavior. However, as with everything, there are exceptions to the rule. Mountain lions are adaptable and often find homes in or near urban areas. Generally, these areas are challenging to hunt, given the amount of private property and the proximity to inhabited structures. Usually, it's best just to focus on areas farther away from human habitation. In most regions, mountain lions generally prefer woodland habitats, while areas with plenty of scrub are preferred in some more of your desert regions. These environments offer both cover and opportunities for hunting. Riparian zones, or areas adjacent to rivers and streams, are also selected by mountain lions, likely due to the availability of water and prey. You can find such areas often in grasslands, providing these essential mountain lion resources. The habitat selection by mountain lions does not significantly change with the season or prey density. This indicates their adaptability and wide-ranging dietary habits. However, prey availability can influence their movement patterns and habitat use over larger scales. So the next question is, how do we break down these areas now that we know where to look? Hunting mountain lions isn't vastly different from hunting deer. They are patternable, and they will have preferred travel routes. The lower population densities and much larger ranges than deer make it much more challenging. Once you find a suitable habitat, and areas within that habitat containing the other requirements, such as food, shelter, and water, we need to look for locations that funnel mountain lion movements. Often, mountain lions use remote roads and trails as pathways as they navigate their territories. These should be the first place you scout when breaking down a new area. To find recent tracks, it's often easiest just to drive these roads or walk the trails after fresh snows or rain. Once you see them, follow along the trail or road until the tracks leave it. Make sure you take note of the direction of travel and try to find another road or trail that might intersect the mountain lion's path along its travel route. Drive or walk those additional routes and see if the lion has crossed those. This is going to start to give you a sense of the limits of this cat's range and a starting point for the next time you go out. It can also be beneficial to backtrack a cat just to find its origin. You can find a lot of great details on a backtrack. Walking trails or driving roads is far easier than following the tracks to wherever they may lead. It is important to note that at some point you will need to get off the beaten path and go where the mountain lions go. However, at this point, I don't feel it's really necessary in the game. Once you do decide to leave the trail, well, make sure you travel as the lions do. What does this mean? Well, they often cross ridge lines using saddles to get from one drainage to another, as an example. So quality mapping software and or apps like Onyx are great to look for those small saddles between prominent outcroppings or ledges that are paralleling steep terrain. You're going to make your scouting trips much more productive and save a ton of time. Marking these locations for particular interests ahead of your excursion will lead you in the direction you need to go. Make sure you check these terrain features first for tracks and scrapes or scat to see if anything has been using them lately. If you do find promising sign, make sure you mark it on your map and possibly drop a trail camera there. Make sure that the regulations permit the use of trail cameras. I prefer using cell cameras, but if you don't have one, just use a regular trail camera and let it soak for 3 to 6 weeks before you go checking it. Mountain lions will often use the same trails and routes, but due to the size of their territories, it may take days or even weeks before they return. Once you do start getting pictures or videos, make sure you note the time of day and the weather conditions in a journal. Keep notes on these details and you will soon start to see a pattern emerge. Each cat is an individual, and although as a species there will be many generalities that will remain the same from cat to cat, each one will still have its own quirks. Now, generally, it's best to use the aforementioned steps in a really broad area to make sure that you're finding lots of different zones where you know cats reside. During the season, this helps you isolate and define the area that you're going to be focused on hunting. If we want to narrow our focus down to specific cats, that's where you need to really get out, get off the road, and follow their tracks. Once you find a good set of tracks to follow, make sure that you turn on some sort of tracking software. I use Onyx. It has a great tracking ability within it that records the path that I take, which incidentally will record the path that our cat takes. Make sure that as you go along the route that you're noting important features, such as important terrain marks, such as saddles or narrow areas that funnel the cat's movements. If you find a kill, take some pictures. Make any notes on the game species, how long the kill has been there and the time of day. Cats will often return to kills 2 to 3 or even 4 times and still feed on it. After they've stopped actively feeding on a kill, cats will often revisit their old kill sites, almost like they're looking at their past trophies. Pay particular attention anytime you find an area where it appears that cat has used it multiple times as a latrine. Cats, like house cats, will often use the same areas to defecate and to urinate, creating an area that's tore up and has multiple scat located within it. You can use these areas as a pinpoint because that cat will be back in that area sooner or later. Once you find and follow the same cat's trail multiple times, it's going to start to become obvious how they like to travel, what they like to eat, and where they like to spend their time. Use the tracks that you've saved on your mapping software to find areas where the cat's track crosses other tracks. This is where you're going to want to focus your hunting effort, because these are the places the cats are going to be the most. By spending time in the woods, learning how and when cats move through their territory, you are going to set yourself up for success for the upcoming season. There is no replacing this effort when it comes to hunting mountain lions. I hope that those of you listening today found this episode helpful and interesting. My greatest hope is that this sets you up for success for the first time you go out to hunt mountain lions. There is no more rewarding of a hunt than walking up on your first mountain lion harvest. As we conclude this episode of Long Walker Outdoors, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to each of you who joined us. Click a like and subscribe to be sure you get all our content. Remember, the trail never truly ends, and the ending of one hunt marks the beginning of the next. So until next time, may your hunts be bountiful and your shots true. This is Long Walker Outdoors, signing off. Happy hunting, and may the wilderness always call you home.